The state of the market. Rune's airdrop season has been crazy. We've all been airdropped a lot of things. We're going to be talking about that in this episode and some upcoming events with Ordinal Asia and Ordinals Lisbon and so much more. This show is on X and on YouTube. Feel free to jump into the comments, join the conversation. We'll definitely bring you up and talk about all of your feedback throughout the show. Also, this show is brought to you by Ninja Alerts, aka Pizza Ninjas, who has absolutely been crushing it lately. By the way, there is both of those events that I mentioned earlier. Pizza Ninjas are going to have a strong presence at both. Before we dive in today with our regular Coma and our guest Joe, I actually wanted to take a look at these two events real quick because they were just announced just a few days ago before our last episode. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into that just a minute. So first and foremost, we got a yacht, Ninja Yacht, May 10th, Friday, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. in Hong Kong around Ordinals Asia. This is a couple of pictures from the yacht. How are you guys feeling about this? Did you guys saw this announcement? It was kind of unexpected. You know, we went from a bus to a yacht real quick.
Why didn't we get a yacht in New York, man? I'm kidding.
we already had the Magic Eden party in New York, so you know that probably made up for it.
No, this looks amazing. I wish I could go to Asia, but man, I feel like I'm missing out. I'm getting major FOMO already.
Yeah, me too, man. I won't be there. At least I don't think so, unless I'm like really needed last minute either. But this looks awesome. Really excited about our holders that are able to go. I know since the beginning, the Ninjas has had a pretty strong Chinese community. We had like one Telegram with like 300 different holders in there. Like that was from the Chinese community. So that's going to be really cool. I know it's already filling up fast, if not already almost full, but definitely excited about that. And you've probably also heard of, but if you haven't, we're also going to be co-hosting a conference in Lisbon. Now, we did look at this last week. I'm not going to play this whole video, but basically this is a hype video for the Ordinals Lisbon conference. This conference was already an ETH conference last year with over 4,000 attendees, and Ordinals are taking over this year. We're going to have over 200 plus speakers and estimated 4,400. Well, last year was 4,400 attendees, and that was just ETH alone. This year, we're going to wrap it up a little bit, bring some Ordinals and paint it orange, and some amazing venues. Also, the recent update within just the last few days, we got some new speakers added to the list. Oh, look who this is at the bottom right. Going to be really dropping the alpha down here in Lisbon. Is your very own Chris Coffee. Jokes aside, we got some really awesome people already signed up to speak. So really looking forward to that. With all that being said, we have a ton to dive into today. I do just want to give a warm welcome to Joe. Welcome to the channel. I know you're familiar with YouTube content. Love your setup. How's it going today, man?
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. I've watched your streams. I think I told you earlier, your stream was the reason, or your recap in NFT NYC about your pizza tour was the reason I joined Pizza Ninjas. So I'm super excited to actually be on a set in less than what a crazy 3 weeks it's been. From when I joined Pizza Ninja to the halving to now being here, it's like, what? Like, I just watched this. Now I'm on the show. What's going on?
That's so crazy. That's so awesome. You heard that team? He watched our recap. So what do you know? Content marketing actually pays off.
I'm pretty sure we sold a few ninjas because of our show too. So you know.
Yeah. Got new holders, man. I don't talk about price a lot, but I did think that this was pretty interesting enough for me to bring up again. So I did like a post back like 3 months ago of just some basic not basic collections, the top collections, and I kind of want to share that real quick. Because again, it's pretty interesting. So back February, 7th, Ninjas were at 0.052, Puppets 0.08. I did Bitcoin Frogs 0.16, Bandits 0.18. I'm not going to go through all these, but OMB 0.55 and QuantiCats 0.3. So that was 3 months ago. Almost 3 months ago. As of like next week, it'll be 3 months. The update now is Ninja is more than almost tripled. 0.14, that's nuts. Puppets also just thrived, almost tripled, which would be 0.08 to 0.27. Bandits stayed around the same. Frogs took a really bad hit. Frogs are like down like half or something like that. OMB, it's kind of hard to like say because they added the orange eyes since this post, so it's not really fair to them to say the floor price dropped because they added to the collection. But for the sake of the tweet, I wasn't going to put that in parentheses or whatever. So anyways, we've come a long way in a couple months. Lots of events, lots of things going on. Pretty exciting to see. So I guess you probably got in at a pretty good time, Joe. Like right before like the recent like craziness.
Yeah, I got in at a really interesting time. It was during the pre-hype of the halving. And if you guys want proof, I could take a screenshot. I actually sent Chris a message saying, I'm not sure if you recall, Chris, looking back to your messages, but I was like, hey, help. I purchased a Ninja through Magic Eden, and that transaction was stuck because they suggested a transaction fee. And right after I clicked submit, it was stuck for like 3 days. And long story short, I had to pay Antpool to accelerate that transaction
Oh wow.
to make it in time for the boot camp because I was going crazy. I was like, the boot camp's starting, my Ninja stuck, and it was at 15 sats per V-byte, and it spiked to like triple or quadruple, and I couldn't find any information online anywhere. Like, I'm talking about AI, friends, my friends, like, oh, I can hook you up with a developer that I know. Like, I had no idea how to pull that transaction forward. It was just really scary word out there. And I was like, this is why I need the ninjas. And I even messaged you on Twitter. I was like, hey, Chris, I see you too. I was like, hey, I'm a ninja stuck, man, in the mempool for 3 days. Help a brother out. But I finally got it through. I was just praying that Antpool, transaction accelerator actually would work. And man, thankfully it worked. And I got in, and right before, like I think the day after the boot camp started. So I was super excited.
How did while we're on that subject, how was the boot camp experience for you?
For me, it was a mixture of like excitement and confusion because I'm not a developer like many people weren't. And it was great to see people in the same boat as me. I thought I was gonna get left in the dust. Like I was like, these guys are way in advance. But the community was so helpful. Like Taha, you guys on the show before, he was answering questions till like the break of dawn. Same thing with Post, Alexa. I asked everyone questions, and the ninjas were super helpful, even if they weren't, people that were affixed to educate us. Whoever was further along was helping everyone else along the way, and I tried to do that also. And I eventually got there. I mean, who would have known I was going to run a Bitcoin node, an Ord node, and mint etch runes. I etched a rune and got in on the fun on the day of. So it was exciting.
That's so cool, man. So cool. I know with just being part of the team, people just kind of expected me to know some of that stuff. They'll be like, yo, I was trying to run this command and this happened. I'm just like, I'm here for moral support, but I'm no Alexa, Post Capone, or, Coma developer over here. I usually like to point all the questions over to Coma,
No, man, I was equally as confused, but obviously I had a little bit of a leg up because I knew how to use like terminal and stuff. But overall, everybody was super helpful, very patient, good teachers, obviously. Yeah, great community, and it's a shame that there's only 1,500 ninjas, right? So, but hopefully, you never know. Maybe something might open up.
Yeah, I mean, this is a public announcement. We got the alpha IRL about the eggs, and now they're on the timeline. So I don't remember the extent of public. Let me see what was said about it before I just go accidentally leaking some stuff over here.
Yeah, we might not have a show if Chris gives out too much information.
Yeah, I can't give out too much alpha, but basically the ninjas and the oh my gosh, what's the partner community? Megapunks are going to be having something to do with these eggs. I'm trying to find the egg post before I just leak it. We talked about this in like the event in New York City, but there's a little bit more information that was being put out, which I am not seeing right now. But basically,
I don't think there's much, honestly, on the interweb. But yeah, if you are a holder of Megapunks and or ninjas, then you're probably gonna get dropped something, right? We don't know what.
Yeah, so I found the tweet that at least I had in the back of my mind, which was Pizza Ninja's mission is to build cool stuff. No one seen on any chain. The past 2 months, we've been cooking on an airdrop to Pizza Ninjas and Megapunk holders. It will both surprise and delight the true Bitcoin Ordinals art tech enjoyers out here. And it's this little beautiful egg. So that's pretty fun and exciting. I obviously have both of these projects. I've actually been having Megapunks for a while now, and of course I have my ninjas. So I'm ready for.
Did you early mint with them, or did you just buy it on Magic Eden?
No, I bought on Magic Eden because Megapunks are like, and I feel like they're worth talking about. They were pretty successful on Stacks. Like they were like one of the most successful projects on Stacks ecosystem. And here their main post says it all. But like they were also like basically the first 10K collection on Bitcoin. I mean on Ordinals. Now this is like the big debate because like there's so many here. Where's this at? I'll go ahead and while we're talking about this, close this down. So they weren't really, it's like they were the first 10K, but they were already like an NFT project on Stacks. So like, it's kind of like not the first original art. Then there was the Bitcoin Bandits that was like, they started off inscribing first, but they only inscribed 7,000. And before they inscribed their remaining 3,000, Node Monks inscribed the first 1 through 10,000, making Node Monks the first like 10,000 original art Ordinals collection, but having kind of like a debate or confusion because like Bandits inscription numbers are earlier. And then you have other ones like Bitcoin Punks that were the first 10K, but that was like a derivative. And then you had this one. So it's like there's so many like, narratives there. And obviously I would say out of all those, like I
they were just early. They were all early though, right? At the end of the day. I think.
Yeah. Exactly. They're all early. But that was like, not Billy. Charlie wrote a really good article basically breaking down all of that I just said and kind of comparing like what was the first 10K. Another thing, some people are just like the first the first 10K collection. Some people argue it's the first 10K inscriptions is the first 10K, and whatever. But anyways,
dude, if you thought minting was hard back in the day, I actually minted Megapunks like using their weird complex system because at that time there was just no infrastructure. Oh my goodness, it was like I felt like I was gonna lose my money because it was just like you have to go on this website and then somehow like remove your NFT from like a vault, and then I don't know. There was just a lot of workarounds with it, but eventually I was able to snag 2. Haven't sold either of them, so hopefully I'll get 3 eggs. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Yeah.
Are you a diamond hand, Coma? You like you buy and hold mainly?
I buy and hold and probably just lose a lot of money. Yeah, that's my that's my thing.
and chill sometimes, right? I got you caught live in 4K. We did
a podcast. So
I know. I'm kidding.
But that did drop a lot since initial. I don't know if Real Talk NFT you were in our like alpha like Discord channels, but Nakamoto was at like $7 at one point or like $7, yeah. But now it's like $2.50.
I sold a bag at $7.50.
Good call. Good call.
But it was only, I only sold one mint at like I sold like the 100 of them for $750. So that covered like most of my transactions and everything because I minted them. So it's not really like I profited a lot, but I just de-risked with that one sell.
It's an interesting one. I think you'll still get back up there, but they just need to gain some momentum. I feel like a lot of these big runes that came out, like Decentralized, Dr. Moon, and Arsic, probably swallowed up a lot of the capital. That's what I didn't anticipate that actually. That's probably why all these other like I guess I don't want to call them lower end, but just like less well known ones without an actual face in them is not doing as well.
Yeah, dude. I mean, honestly, yeah, runes. It's not just runes. I mean, everything's getting hammered right now. Like, let's we can pull this up for a second. I mean, obviously, runes like super new. It is. You are kind of spread thin, of like, of people that are involved in the market. But the entire market cap of crypto got hit 5% today. Bitcoin is struggling to stay above water at 60K. Looks like there's a lot of support at 58K. So I think as long as we're above 58, we'll be fine. But we'll see. And there's just been a ton of like events going on right now. I think originally earlier in the day, like people were saying the Hong Kong buys were a lot lower than it actually was. They're saying it was like $11 million when really it was like $200 million. There was the CZ. I don't think this really affected things, but obviously everybody talked about it. But of course, CZ got arrested or officially like sent to prison for 4 months. Yeah. So there's my little, he called it because he held up the 4 way before he even knew that. So that definitely wasn't good news. And yeah, our precious runes, man. I've been buying heavy for the last 2 or 3 days. So this hit today, that I definitely felt it. I went pretty hard on Fehu. I went pretty hard on a couple of. I'm not just going to show all my bags, but I went pretty hard on a couple of others. But all in all, it's kind of like we're so early to this that it's like, this is we're kind of aware that this is the risk we're gonna be taking. Mm-hmm. Also, like I want your thoughts on this too. Like I feel like I view these market caps differently than I would like typically like a market cap of another token, just because the way these market caps are calculated, obviously it's calculated off the total supply versus the lowest available floor price. But like the floor price, when it's like bricked up, like with like smaller like transactions, it's like it jumps sats pretty quick. Like once I get over all of these like little transactions, like the price jumps up pretty dramatically on some of these things. So I'm not giving like a great example right here, but like if I found the right ticker, I mean, it might be a pretty substantial difference in market cap if I swept the floor of those like little transactions. Does that make sense? Like basically these undercutters on small transactions are making the market caps seem a lot smaller. But also you kind of see the like reverse side of that as well. But I don't know, unless I'm just thinking about that differently.
I haven't thought about that actually until you mentioned. I was wondering why like decentralized market cap was relatively like lower than the other two big hitters, but maybe that's why.
But I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking about maybe that is just the money that's wrapped up in it. But I know before we had the market cap calculations, like on Magic Eden, I was manually doing them. And when I would do it, I would take the lowest available floor price multiplied by the supply of the token. And that just couldn't remain accurate, in my opinion, because like you could easily sweep like just a few and like dramatically affect the price. But I don't know.
Right.
Maybe now that they have this, maybe now that they have this is more accurate.
Yeah, I'd be curious how they calculate that market cap. It probably is based on the lowest or some type of aggregate or average between whatever's posted.
So I kind of know the answer already for Joe, but I'll go and re-ask because we talked about this beforehand. Like, are you guys like buying this blood, or are you just kind of waiting it out, or how are you feeling right now?
Yeah, before you got on, Coma, I told Chris that I played both sides of the coin here. I saw your post, Chris, all the way up till the Promethean's airdrop. Whether you should, sell it or wait for the snapshot and then, whatnot. So I had two, and I was like, oh, let me just test one out. So I sold one at the top at like 0.086, somewhere around there. And then after the right after the snapshot, it dropped to like 0.02. I'm like, oh, that's the lowest it's gonna go. So I rebought back in at 0.021. I didn't know it was gonna drop even lower than that. I didn't think it was gonna drop substantially lower than that because there hasn't been even any notice from them of what they're going to do with their NFT yet. A lot of people speculate that they're going to launch a profile picture collection based off of that. So
dude, that's like my hopeful speculation. I only have one, but that would be so sick.
Yeah, they're around. Just last year, I was at the VeeFriends conference, and CyberConks had a big ass booth there. I'm like, man, you guys have been around and still doing stuff. So it's pretty cool to see that they respect and in the Ordinal space. So I know this is not the question, but I think a lot of Ethereum based or even other types of chains, projects on the chains will slowly, have to have a presence or make a presence in Bitcoin. I think that's gonna happen for the next 6 years to a month. And CyberConks being one of the first to really do that besides On-Chain Monkeys was, really cool. We saw a lot of people do that with Solana this last year, going into Solana, and I see a lot of people going into Bitcoin this year and doing that. So long story short, I took the profits and I'm slowly dollar cost averaging in. So I just bought like a small bag on this dip earlier, and I was buying it based off of market cap, which I might have to play differently because I think this is all new. So when it reached sub 70 million market cap, I was like, oh, this is great. So I just bought like a small bag, and I'm probably gonna buy a few more as we chop through these next few weeks.
I like it. That's I'm always support the Bulls here. We got Luminary, new Ninja fam saying GM. He's got the really clean blue classic Ninja. I really like that one. Got number 14. For those of you that don't know what this is in reference to, I will go ahead and show it. Number 14 is the bullish Bitcoin Pizza Ninjas. our own little ticker, top 15 baby. Really excited to see what all unfolds with that. Some random alpha for you guys. Also, we got ZBit Blue Bitcoin in here. Is right under us, pizza delivery. I found a kind of not really arbitrage, but like I did my research on pizza delivery, and long story short, if I did the math correctly, you get better value if you want to play this one by buying their BRC20 right now than buying the Rune. Based on the Rune allocation and based on the BRC20 allocation, and then based on all the numbers, you get like 40+% more by buying the BRC20 than the Rune. I mean, than the Bitcoin Ordinal. Now with the Bitcoin Ordinal, it's kind of like the Cyberkongs thing. Like, will this turn into something else? Will this have future utility? You know, like you're kind of asking all those questions too. But if you're purely speculating on the pizza delivery token drop, which is not affiliated with us, we're bullish Bitcoin Pizza Ninjas. But if you're speculating on the pizza delivery thing, then it's worth it just to buy the BRC20, which is what I did. I bought pretty heavy some of the BRC20 this week.
Just a comment on runes in general. I really liked how some of these projects launched. Like, who would have thought, like Feihu, I don't know how to pronounce it. Their tokenomics, the way that they launched it with, I don't know if they thought about it a lot, but it's pretty cool. I mean, $2 billion market cap. I use that as a stab. Oh, we flipped the BRC20 market cap in what, less than 2 weeks. So not necessarily that's true, because the market cap for Feihu is holding that number up. So yeah, it's just interesting seeing the different types of mechanics on Bitcoin versus like Solana or on Base. So it's exciting. I like what's happening, and I'm probably going to go shopping.
Do you own any Feihu?
I had to get one because they said that they're going to burn 90% of supply. I'm like, it's going to cost $50, and if it can 10x off a burn, then what's $50 to me? So I did play a little bit, have a small exposure. Maybe I should get more. Who knows? I mean, it's not too crazy, in my opinion, in terms of fees compared to.
You think they're actually going to burn?
I don't know.
Lots of speculation there. Yeah. So I bought 40 this week, and I don't know how I feel. I don't know if it's going to burn. I don't know if they're going to airdrop. I just know that it's rune number 1, and it's like I faded Provenance for so many things in the past. I just didn't want to fade it again, so I just kind of bought. It feels bad buying into a $2.5 billion market cap, because you're thinking like, well, shoot, does this thing have to be like 5 billion for me to even get a 2x? Right. 5 billion more dollars need to come in. But again, I'm just not, I don't know, maybe I'm thinking about this wrong. I'm just not fully convinced on these market caps, like being the determining factor on some of these things. Especially with all these like little, transactions, and then them having 99% of the supply as well. I don't know if that comes into play or not. So anyways, yeah, it's cool, man. It's airdrop season. Ninjas did get airdropped both the decentralized ordinal, and then those who didn't get it, even though we did have one of the largest holder allocations out there. We had 750 spots for 1,500 ninjas, whereas like some communities only got like less than 100 spots for their whole community, or have a lot more pieces than we do. The remaining ninjas did get like another allocation of the token itself today, airdropped. But I'm really bullish on decentralized as well. I've wanted to be in the Cyberkongs ecosystem for a while. I held my whatever it's called, my Promethean. I have my 910,000 tokens. This fluctuated all day. I mean, it's still like, even right now, like what, 0.054. Then you got to add it to the 0.015. So it's still like pretty, like almost 0.07 ish, a little bit over that. And I mean, with everything taking as big of a hit as it has, like the entire market, that's not bad. I mean, to me, that's holding pretty good. 35 buys coming in. Some of these buys are, most of them are the 910,000 packets. This got a buy coming in for a $10,000 buy right here, bro. Look at this liquidity. I mean, things are moving, like 0.17, dropping it on this right now, like as we speak. So I don't know. We'll see.
You know what's crazy? I was actually monitoring the Prometheans like after that block, after that snapshot block. And some people got like so lucky or so smart about their sells. Like I think the sweet spot was 0.03. Like someone was able to sell like a couple of their Prometheans at 0.03 because I tried to sell at 0.04. I was trying to follow the same trend as what the runestones did. So I thought there would be like a dip, a slight back up, and go back down, but it didn't really follow that same pattern. It just kind of went down and just stayed down. So some like if you were quick enough, you could have got like a 0.01 BTC like profit ish, or 0.02 I guess now if you bought like now. But it was like some people definitely were able to like be really quick on the draw about it. But yeah, it kind of sucks because you only get to try it once kind of thing, like unless there's like another big airdrop. But yeah, it's hard to time that.
Yeah, I was just telling somebody earlier today, as you know, I'm a family man, so I got my 2 kids and my wife. So like I try to like give time to them when I can. And it just seems like all of these airdrops just fall right in the middle of like the one time where like, you know, we do family supper and like really try not to be on our phones, really try to be away from the computer. And it's like every big airdrop happens during those like 2 hours. Now this one I wasn't going to touch anyways, but there's been a few that like I would have sold, but it was just like, you know, you can't really pay me to skip time with my family type of thing. But it still just sucks, you know, looking like, oh, that's nice. I got airdropped $5,000, you know, during family supper, and now it's $2,000, you know, by the time I'm done with family supper. I did want to look at this comparison with Jake Sats. I thought this was kind of cool. You're kind of comparing the two just then, but so basically the pre-rune peak value for both of these was very similar. Runestone's around 0.09, and then Promethean's around 0.09. And the general, I don't know what is the floor afterwards. The low was 0.016 for Runestone, and then the floor for Promethean was 0.15, and then the airdrop allocations were 0.46 and 0.48. So extremely close, which is pretty impressive. So if you add them all together, it's actually just slightly over this now. I think it kind of bumped up since this post, and he added Lobo the Wolf in there, but I don't really, you know, I'm not going to factor that in. But basically, the Cyberkongs and the dog, in my opinion, was like about as close as you can get, especially because the supply is so different. I
I was gonna say that the supply is so different. It's like 100 billion versus 21, right? So it's an interesting.
Well, that's the thing, you know. Dog needed $331 million to hit those prices, whereas Decentralized only needed 79 million.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, since we've been on this call, Decentralized market cap went up almost. Yeah, I was looking at it earlier. It's at like 70 million before we started this live, and now it's at
we moved the needle.
Almost at 80.
Dude. Yeah, it's almost at 80. Somebody got a buy-in at like a pretty cheap buy, bro. Somebody bought. Congrats to that person. They just bought them. I don't look at this. I gotta show you guys this. This is something I wish I could see, like when like just like shopping on my own. Let's see ya. Is it already? Is this? Sorry. Here it is. Okay, so look at this buy somebody got. They got this 0.047 buy for 910,000. Dude, that's like after this pins, they're already up like almost like pushing like $900, $800 like immediately. That's wild. Yeah, there's a big sweep. That's crazy.
That's something new with Bitcoin that I'm used to other blockchains, is that people can snipe that buy order, right? Someone can say, "Oh, that's a great deal," and just totally
that's true. I've
never had that happen to me in other blockchains, and that happened to me when I was trying to etch a rune punk. I tried to etch like 3 of them, and I was like, "Yes." I turned away from my computer, come back in an hour. None of them got etched. It all got replaced by someone. I was like, "What just happened?" I found that very interesting.
But you could always etch another time, right? That's not like, it's not the end of the world because you're etching something completely different. But this one, you're actually trying to buy something, and someone sniping you on that would be pretty dick move, but I respect it.
Yeah, they would do that with higher ticket items, like, you know, if a node monk was at like 0.3 and then the next one was at like 0.33 or something, they saw that buy pending at 0.3, they would go and snipe that buy and then list it for higher and take that arbitrage. But yeah, that's Magic Eden is apparently blacklisting wallets that have been found doing that from their diamond drop. So that's kind of cool. It's like they're taking action against it, but we'll just see how that goes. All in all, I mean, I guess we can't complain about all this free stuff. I mean, it's
that's
kind
what I
of
was
funny.
gonna say. Yeah, it makes sense. This was all airdrop, and you just got like what, like $4,000 for free almost. Like
Yep. And
that's
so,
insane.
and dude, if this had like a 500, we're talking about decentralized again. If we see like 500 million market cap, which I think is totally possible if runes stay relevant, like that's like 20 grand. Like that, that it turns into profit real quick, real quick. Now I'm not saying it's going to hit 500 million anytime soon, but it's just like, it's definitely not out of the equation. I mean, CyberKongs is like one of the like biggest builders and OGs in the space. Like, although there's not a lot of volume, their floor price on their Genesis collection is still like 11.5 Ethereum. And like they launched in like what, 2021. So, and they're still relevant, still around. They spent 500 million just to get rune number 2. Like, wild. I don't know. That's also why I'm holding my Prometheus. I always say the wrong name. That's why I'm holding my Promethean still. Because like, if that is any sliver of like PFP there or anything else, even just to be considered into their ecosystem, like I'll take it. Also, 630 listed out of 21,000.
Oh,
What? Like that's
solid.
Yeah, that is wild. Speaking of low listings, got to give a shout out to the Pizza Ninjas. Despite the market getting like absolutely like obliterated the last like few weeks, Pizza Ninja's still at like close to all-time highs, just like chilling, like no concerns at all. Under 50 listed. Like I don't know, man. Like it's been really good. Like honestly, like I think like people were anticipating the runes cap. The runes cap was really successful, and now people are just chilling, man. People are still buying. There's still like volume there. Matter of fact, like I think even if you just go to Magic Eden, like we're like one of the top ones up there. But yeah, 0.14. Look at this floor, man. I mean, I don't like to talk about floor price a lot, but it's just despite the market being hit, like I mean, 0.2 just like in no time. I love the OMBIs. This ninja is so clean, dude.
That is clean.
Like, out of all the ones I see right here, I think that one. I like the beanie one too. But yeah, so you just go to Magic Eden. I'm pretty sure I just saw us like chilling up there earlier.
Do you remember Chris? I DM'd you like
right here,
yeah. Like those OMB eyes one looks so clean, and I was like, oh, I might get it, but then I forgot how much like decimals are relative to Bitcoin. I'm like, oh fuck, this is almost $10,000.
Yeah,
I'm like, just kidding.
Yeah.
But it was so sick though.
Well, I was gonna say Pizza Ninjas was the easiest decision for me to put a trigger on. And this is kind of like the price I got in, and just the vibes from your YouTube video and the recap on NFT NYC. I was like, man, the vibes are so cool there. Like it's kind of like a beacon of light in the NFT world where you don't really get people, building and vibing together that are, in that way. Personally, for me, after like 2 days in there, I was like, I felt like I got my money's worth, and I didn't mint. I could have minted. I should have minted. I didn't. And I still think it's a great value today. Just like I think of it as a mastermind. I don't even think of it as like an NFT project per se, versus like I've been in different mastermind groups. So I feel like it's like a really cool mastermind group. And Post was talking about like, what do you guys want to learn afterwards? You guys want to learn like MEV stuff? I was like, cool. This is so cool. Like I never thought that I'd be running a Bitcoin node and be fully decentralized. Just the value that Pizza Ninja gives. Anyone straddling the fence right now, I would say it's like a no-brainer. Like I don't think I would ever sell it just because of the information I'm getting.
I love that, man. I love that. And it's cool too, because like we also have like, we're a software company. Have you used the beta version of the tool yet?
I saw you showcasing the tool,
and
that's another reason I got it. I totally forgot about it because I was knee deep in running nodes,
Yeah,
so
it's funny.
There's so much layers.
I feel like that's one of our strongest, like I think if like volume really heats up in Ordinals and maybe runes and maybe other chains, like I think one of the strongest things for us is going to be our software. And that's like one of the least talked about things because like, like it's software. So it's kind of like people want the like here and now type things. But I'm really excited for just our tool in general for like tracking wallets, trading. I can be on my phone, just be like, oh, come I bought another 5 packets of Satoshi, like, and then call them out for it, while we're on the call and stuff. And yeah, really excited about that. But that's cool, man. I'm so glad you joined. And yeah, it's been,
and he's on the show too. Literally, he's been a ninja for what, a couple of weeks now.
Yeah, I was stuck in the mempool for like 3 days, and then an actual ninja. Yeah,
that's awesome, man. Yeah, you got a great setup. Going back to you, Joe, just a little bit about yourself. You know, we talked about your ninja journey, like how you found us, how you got in. I want to know about your, like, when did you get into ordinals? Like, what led to you like purchasing your first ordinal, kind of getting involved, caring? I know you've made content. You said you had your own YouTube channel for a while. Now you have you run a podcast. So just whatever you want to tell us about yourself, your journey to ordinals, and where you're at right now.
Yeah. I think like everyone else, we just got super excited. I just got super excited about NFTs when everyone did. 2021 was the real time that NFTs took front and center. I was in crypto before then, but not really, my heart wasn't in it. But with NFTs, it was just a whole different ballgame. It really tugged at your heartstring. For me, it was NBA Top Shot that got me into the NFT world. I absolutely love it. I still meet people from NBA Top Shot like every week. Like we just had an event. I'm in the Bay Area, and they had an event, so I was there, and I really loved that part of the NFT world, just community. I know it sounds crazy, but like I enjoy that. I enjoy the NBA Top Shot community, and I really enjoy the Ninja community, and that's what got me started on the NFT journey. For Ordinals, I definitely faded it early. Like Homa said, it was so hard. There was no direction. You had to download like a Sparrow. It was so hard to get over the hump. I just kind of faded it. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get it later on when all the tools are built for it. And of course, when they're all built, that the opportunity's gone. Like, I could have minted a BTC machine. I was like, I'm on the list, but I'm not gonna mint this. It's too hard. And so I didn't get involved until On-Chain Monkey made it easy, that transition. So I actually met Danny at NFT Seattle. I actually interviewed him there on a panel, and he was the first to migrate on his on-chain monkeys to Bitcoin. He kind of led the movement. I know we're talking about who's the first 10K NFT project on Bitcoin. I know on-chain monkeys always kind of in that mix, talking about they're the first to do recursive stuff with Bitcoin and whatnot, and they really paved the way there. So on-chain monkey really got me into ordinal space because I'm not sure if you guys know this, but they gave you 4 ordinals for bridging your Ethereum base on-chain monkey onto Bitcoin, and that's what qualified me for the runestone, because you needed 3 ordinal, you needed 3 NFTs. I only got 1 project on there, and I was like, oh, did I just get airdrop $5,000 for free because of on-chain monkey? It was like amazing. So that I kind of drank the Kool-Aid after that, because there's so much fascinating stuff within Bitcoin. I mean, just pizza ninjas, like pizza sats. I have always, thought that story was so fascinating. Without him pushing the narrative forward, we wouldn't be here today, right? And just utilizing pizza sats to launch pizza ninjas, so cool. And just having those layers of complexity makes Bitcoin that much more unique versus, Ethereum or projects on Base or on Solana. There's just a lot different layers because of what Casey has done, And this is outside the question for me, but I had a question for you guys. Like, I watch like the How Money podcast now. Like, I'm deep in the tech side now. Like, before I was just, I'm gonna flip some NFTs, join the community. It was a lot of fun. Now I'm like running nodes. I'm listening to Casey talk about development, and one thing that caught me in his latest podcast, which I'm not sure if you guys caught, he's like, with the turbo upgrade, one of his ideas was potentially running lotteries on runes. I was like, what? Like, that's fascinating. Just so cool. I wanted to see if you guys heard that and what you guys thoughts on that.
Lotteries?
Yeah, I haven't heard about it. I thought the runes was lottery enough.
Yeah, so I'm hopefully I'm doing it right. I don't know if Casey, if you're watching this, you should watch this, by the way, Casey. In the last 10 minutes, it's an hour long, but the last 10 minutes he talks about, for people who clicked into the turbo allowance, meaning if you etch your own rune, you can say yes, true or false for turbo, which means if runes protocol upgrades, you automatically opt into the upgrade. So one of his ideas was like, what if we implemented runes implemented like a lottery system where, I don't know, like Fehu, for example, like they have 2 billion market cap, a lot of supply. They're like, if you burn, there's a burning mechanism or whatnot, they can run the lottery. Just think like the Powerball, on a weekly basis. And I was like, that's pretty crazy. Like, people love to gamble, and Casey is really bullish on people playing the lottery. So people like the degen. He always says that, and he's just trying to empower the degens, which is so funny. And I just thought that was another layer of complexity that would be really, really interesting for Bitcoins and the meme coin narrative on Bitcoins.
I like that. I like that a lot. I think a lot of people are just viewing like runes as the new shiny thing because like it's on Bitcoin and you can like put memes on it. But there's actually going to be a lot of use cases for runes as well. And obviously, like, just one of those is being able to do things like lottery style. So I'm excited to see people really push runes to the limit and like use them within their projects. And I think they're going to be utility tokens as well. They're going to be developments. They're going to be not provenance. They're going to be what do you call it? When a token like is the core structure of the ecosystem. They're going to be that, like, you know, it's going to be a lot more than just like kind of what we're seeing now, just kind of like make a creative ticker and throw it out there. So yeah, the gambling thing, I think I heard about that, but I wasn't really sure. But that's definitely interesting. And I love that Casey's bullish on people doing fun things with runes.
He also did mention that, you know, there are use cases that could be on runes. We like NFTs are minting on runes now, which is what like it's so crazy. Some people like it, they don't like it. But he did say that, you know, if there's a big company that wants to do a stablecoin runes, that's possible now. So I did that; those things I didn't even think about. So I'm super excited about runes.
I think there's already a company that did like the first stablecoin on runes. I saw Trevor repost it. Yeah, it's crazy how fast these people develop stuff. We got Bitcoin Maxi in the chat saying, "What's the ticker?" We talked about a lot of tickers. There's so many, but
Number 14.
Number 14 is definitely the number one ticker. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me to say. I literally just feel like you can like close your eyes and throw a dart at the top 20. Okay, that's a good conversation point. Do you guys think the provenance of like being in the top, you know, however many is going to be a thing? Because yeah, like similar to Ordinals, how like, you know, sub 10K inscriptions, similar to ENS's where it was like sub 3-digit, you know, numbers, similar to all these other narratives? Or do you think because it's like tokens, that narrative is just kind of thrown out the window and people are not going to care as much?
I like Koma Go.
I feel like people wouldn't be paying this much money to be within like that top, you know, like the top like early, you know, like etching if they didn't think that they believed in it. So I don't know, it's too early to say, but I'll just see what the people say and kind of go along with the ride, but I'm not too sure, to be honest. What about
Before you answer, Joe, I want to bring it up. Ross.sat says the ticker is Elsa. I actually own 0 of this, but I really like this one because for those that don't know, Elsa is Hal Finney's dog. Hal Finney was the first person to mine Bitcoin besides Satoshi himself. He's also believed to possibly be Satoshi, even though some people don't believe that. He apparently had a Satoshi Nakamoto in his neighborhood. Around the same time that he died of ALS, Satoshi disappeared from the internet. So there's actually like, you know, cases there that people believe. But anyways, I also just think like I always imagine these Bitcoin ridiculously long rune tickers to be condensed down to 4 letters, and what's that going to say, and is that going to appeal to like mid curve, you know, normies, whatever word we're using for that now? And to me, Elsa is a really good ticker if it doesn't get like a copyright strike or something, because it's like, how many plays does Frozen have from all over the world? You know, people are going to see that. They don't have to care about the lore behind that. You know, they could just see Elsa and be like, oh, I know Elsa. Whatever. I own 0 of this token. I think it's cool, but that's a side note. I want to pass the question back to you, Joe.
Yeah, touching on ticker to Elsa, I faded that. I saw Alexa and Taha talking. They're like, "Oh, I'm gonna mint it," and I'm like, "I'm not minting the ticker to Elsa," and then it shot up like 5x. I'm like, "Oh, darn!" So, I like the tickers Elsa. I might get some. I don't own any, but I might get some. Back to the question about the provenance play. I think Bitcoin maximalists and Bitcoin community could be different. Like Solana, I have a lot of friends in the Solana meme coin ecosystem and NFT ecosystem, and they're sitting on the sidelines and they got in. And I have a lot of friends in the base meme coin ecosystem that really took off recently. So I don't think people personally going to care, but that's coming from those ecosystems. Like those people are like, they just want to ape into the dumbest stuff possible. And Bitcoin might be different. I think is the answer. Maybe Provenance does have a play more so than other chains, you know, because of the sats that have to do with it. Like, you know, something launch on Epic Sat versus, you know, something else that could have a play in it. Personally, myself, I'm not too bullish on provenance. Unfortunately, I think whatever the meta is at time when you know, whatever exchange XYZ or influencer will show like a bag that goes to the moon, I think the meme coins kind of take on their own life, unfortunately. But we're kind of seeing an interesting convergence, right? Like NFTs and meme coins never converged ever. Like this was the first time because of the pre-runes. So it kind of have some ties with the NFT, I believe, if they could somehow drag that, I wouldn't say drag the narrative along, but the NFT can have some sort of utility, and I hate using that word, with, you know, meme coins, because meme coins don't have any utility at all, then, you know, I can see Provenance having a play in that. And we are seeing snapshots still, right? Like people are still saying, if you own a runestone, then we'll give you a list on this. And people have made that assumption with meme coins. They're like, oh, the first 10,000 holders or buyers or minters of uncommon goods, they could take a snapshot of that, right? And because you were the first 10,000 there, you can be whitelisted for something else. So there's certain like nuances within the first 10, and then the first, you know, 10,000 holders or whatnot. There's a lot of things that can happen.
Coma left us, but I agree.
bored him to death.
That's no. What you just said is interesting. I never even considered the fact of like maybe it does matter how soon you were to uncommon goods. I still have yet to mint it. I probably should while fees are low, but yeah, I mean that narrative does make sense. Somebody in the chat said they don't think so. Runes that come with utility use case will rise above first, except for dog that will remain on top. Yeah, on the Solana thing, as somebody who also trades tokens on Solana a lot, I have made and lost an incredible amount of money trading on Solana. I would say the main difference there is like, you know, 50 years from now, we know for sure, like, you know, Bitcoin, the runes are going to be there, and we're going to see the first however many like clear as day. Whereas Solana, we just hope that it's running tomorrow. we hope that it's going to be here in 10 years. It's working its way towards more decentralized and more use cases, and it's so fast and so cheap. I have a ton of fun on Solana, but I don't buy on Solana for provenance. I buy for adrenaline and for instant like use cases, utility, you know, fast transactions and all that. It's just different. It's just very different. But yeah, I don't know, man. I got really burnt. I'm not like a narrative kind of guy, but eventually, like, if you can't beat them, then join them. And I've faded them so many times of like that people creating a narrative and me just being like, that's stupid. And then that narrative just blows up and I'm like, it's still stupid, but now it's expensive and stupid. Like, and that's how I felt about a lot of ENSs. I don't know if you guys were like there for that, but like the 3-digit ENSs, I like could have like minted one. I saw them happening. I was like, this is stupid. Like, why would I want my name to be 184 or whatever? Like, my name is Chris Coffee, and the market didn't think the same way, and they were valued at a couple ETH. I think some were selling for like 50 ETH or some stupid stuff like that. And they're still kind of, I don't know how the volume is on them, but they're still kind of value. I still think they're dumb. If your name is 4825.eth, I will never remember that. Everybody, there's like a famous punk that's like, you know, his ENS or her ENS or whatever. And everybody's like, yeah, you don't know Punk 1568. I'm like, no, I have no idea who that is. like it's a terrible branding. Like I like forget every single time, but anyways, the ENS was a narrative I faded. Ordinals, like sub 10K, I still like, I don't love it. Like, I think it's cool that you're early, but like if it's like a copy paste of like an ape that was on ETH that's now on Bitcoin, but it's under sub 10K, I don't want to pay 10 grand for that or whatever it is, but other people do and will. And so that's what the narrative is. So, you know, we'll stick with that. So anyways, I guess to recap, my opinion is I do think they'll matter. I just don't know, like, to say that they'll matter, like how much will they matter? Because like right now the sub 10K of ordinals are like 0.05, but like look at the market caps of these runes, you know? So like it's kind of hard to compete. You have to have more people that care about that in order to keep that narrative alive. So we'll see. Somebody said I made a good bag from soul meme coins, but been so bad for the past 1 to 2 months. It has been bad. It's been rough. 9% rugs are pumped and dumps and die.
Well, another thing interesting about Rune is because Solana, you have the naming convention you can execute right away, right? You can do, you know, 2-letter, 3-letter. It will be interesting to see as the months go by, as the tickers get shorter and shorter, how that's going to be in the ecosystem.
Is that going to be something, I'm assuming you can never change, like you're just going to have to rerun the ticker, but you can't just like, you know, burn letters off your ticker?
Right, yeah, you probably have to re-etch your meme coin if you really want to short a ticker.
Yeah, it's a bummer. I kind of wish there's the tech that was made it possible to like just slowly maybe like start taking all the Z's off of Feihu, like until it just becomes Feihu in like however many years. Um, yeah, I wonder if that's gonna be a narrative too. Like, I could totally see people being like, "This is the first 9-character ticker," this is the first 5-character or whatever. So it's going to be very interesting. Just to see. That's happening relatively fast. I don't remember the time frame, but I think we're getting to like 9 tickers within like a year or something. I don't remember the time frame, but it's not like a ridiculous amount of time. Yeah. Where this just going to get smaller and smaller and smaller until one day we can just have pizza ninjas.
Yeah, every 3 to 4 months they're going to knock down the letter.
Okay, 3 to 4 months. That makes sense.
Is that the alpha?
That is the alpha. The alpha is please don't let us drop below 58K Bitcoin. So our very risky bags will stay above water.
Well, what is that old saying? Don't invest more than you can afford to lose, or something like that.
Yeah. Whoever said that has already made it. I like my counter to that is like pretty much anybody who's in a position of wealth has over leveraged themselves at some point of their life, whether that's time or money. Like, so it's like that's you kind of got to put it on the table sometimes.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. But with all that being said, Joe does have a hard out today. I'm actually going to be joining. I'm going to go ahead and shill your show real quick. I'm actually going to be joining Joe on their channel Thursday. I don't remember the Eastern time. I'm actually on Central, but I already converted from it. So do you know the Eastern time?
1 o'clock. It's not live, so it'll be published the week afterwards. Every Tuesday we send it out. And we're going to be featuring Chris, Pizza Ninjas. You want to talk all things Web3? Anything you want to talk about?
I have a lot to talk about regarding Web3. But yeah, this is their YouTube channel, Real Talk NFT. He is a ninja, of course. Is the podcast on like any streaming platforms or?
Yeah, it's on. I'll send the link. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple. It's on anywhere you can stream.
Awesome. So catch that podcast as well. Here, I'm going to go ahead and share the Twitter. Got Real Talk NFT here. Definitely give him a follow. Also, if this is the Pizza Ninja community show, every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern time. If you ever want to come back, Joe, you or your co-host, you're a ninja. You got a great camera setup, great audio. Come back, hang out. Yeah. Talk some runes, some Pizza Ninjas, some Ordinals, some Alpha with us. We'll love to have you back, man.
Yeah, I'd love to be here. I love talking Web3 all day, every day. So finding people that want to talk about that is a lot of fun.
Definitely. I think with all that being said, well, I'll just give a quick recap. Some of the things that we talked about. So if you're watching now, you can go back to the beginning and watch. I have it on my side monitor, so that's why I'm looking over here. Basically, we talked about the Ordinals Lisbon coming up. This is a conference that we are co-hosting. It's coming up at the end of May. Some awesome speakers lined up for that. It's going to be an awesome venue if you're interested in speaking. Oh, one important note about that. We are having early bird ticket sales, and that gets a premium discount, and that ends today. I forgot to say that at the very beginning. So congrats to those who made it to the very end that want to go to Lisbon. Get in for those early bird tickets. This just shows you need to watch to the end because that's when some of the real alpha is. And we talked about we're having a yacht in Hong Kong. It's going to be really cool. That's on May 10th. Ordinals Lisbon. We're going to have sponsor some events over there as well. That's May 11th. And all kinds of things, all that kind of things going on. We've got the Prometheans airdrop, which we single-handedly pumped the floor $10 million tonight. Yeah. So shout out to us for doing that. There was some huge buys coming in. It went from like 70 to 80 million. That's wild.
I was quiet this whole show.
Yeah, that's what it was. Coma.
I was pumping the buys.
Yeah, Coma was the one buying those huge orders, or he was probably selling off when we were talking about it. One of the two. Diamond hands. So much more. So thanks guys for everybody tuning in. Thanks Joe for joining us. Coma as always. Thanks for being a regular, and we will see you guys next time. Oh, and Kip said, some likely will be dust. Yes, some likely will be dust. We'll see what's dust and what's 10x or what moons. We'll definitely see. Need this Liquidium loan to hurry up so I can get a ninja. Yes, you do. Come on, Liquidium. I love Liquidium. Shout out to Liquidium. Should be a sponsor of the show. Come on, Liquidium. What are you doing? I have to go talk to Robin about that, especially when we start being able... Guys, we're going to be able to take out loans against our runes soon. Like, that's huge. Like,
Nice.
if your decentralized is worth $5,000, you could probably take out like above a $3,000 loan against it. And there's $3,000 of liquidity that you can go and do cool stuff with.